Welcome back, guys. You're cooking with Rob, and today, in fact, we're not cooking at all. We are going to make a recipe. These are nut balls. They're packed with goodness, full of nutritious foods, and they make for one hell of a tasty treat. If you tune in till the end, I'll break down the macronutrients and the cost for you. And obviously appreciate that I shop at different, may shop at different places to you guys, but I've worked it out according to where I shop and the nutrients that are provided from the items where I shop at, but we'll talk about that at the end. But let me just show you the ingredients and we'll make it together. So guys, what we have here, ingredients, we have almonds, right there, walnuts and oats. Now I've taken the liberty of grinding them down. I'm sure you guys don't want to see me do that. Also as well, I've said before, my blender makes horrific noise, but I've done it pre-recording, and all that I've done is literally purchased whole almonds, whole walnuts and morn flake oats and just grinded them down individually in my blender to make what you can see. Here we have, I saved the packet for you, Montezuma's 100% cacao, absolute black, darkest of the dark. So here we got there, okay, some dark chocolate. You don't have to go 100%. It is quite bitter, so if you don't like it as bitter as I do, you can take it down, but obviously macronutrients and the cost may differ. We have goji berries. We have vanilla extract, ground sweet cinnamon, and honey and maple walnut Walden Farms, which is near zero sugar and calories. 150 grams almonds, 150 gram walnuts, 100 grams of oats. This is one bar, which is 90 grams, and 20 grams of goji berries. Vanilla essence and ground sweet cinnamon are to taste. Honey, we're going to put 50 grams in, and maple walnut we can put a little bit in at a time. It's more of a helping with the binding binding element to these nut balls. But let's go and see how we get on. So I've got a big bowl, okay, and what we're going to do, we're going to put everything in our bowl apart from the honey and maple walnut for the start. So everything in there. Let's just move that to one side. We'll wash that up later. Okay, and give a little mix. Okay, I've got a wooden spoon just in case. Sometimes spatula can be just a little bit easier. Let's give it a little mix. Now, as I say, cinnamon and vanilla essence are purely and simply to taste. So just note when I actually cost this out, and struggling to undo that, and macronutrients, I haven't included these because they can wildly differ, but they are coming out. Vanilla essence, I think I worked out to be about 6p, and ground sweet cinnamon was, I think it wasn't even a penny. So I haven't included it just because obviously it just seemed a bit ridiculous putting it in there. But just in case you were wondering, for full transparency, I haven't included the cinnamon and vanilla extract in the cost and the macronutrients, as they're very little. So what we're going to do, we're going to weigh out 50 grams of honey. I just want to make sure you guys are seeing what I see. And you can see here, I have zeroed it out, and we are going to add in 50 grams. Love to put more in. Love honey, natural sweetener, very good for you. But obviously still has calories in there. And there we go. You can see for yourself, 50 grams. And then we just drop a little bit of syrup in there. I have included this because it isn't the cheapest of products, but I get it in bulk from Dolphin Fitness, and one of the best websites in my opinion for supplements, and it isn't too bad when you're putting it in there, okay, into a recipe like this, depending on how much you use. May need a tad more, but before we do, what we'll do, just see how it's binding with our hands. Just find it a little bit easier sometimes. And what I do here, guys, just to help out with the non-stickiness, just put a little bit of water on your hands, and then we're just literally mixing it, and you can tell when you're using your hands whether it's going to bind or not, and you'll probably see towards the end of what it's going to look like, and I'll give you an idea of what it should look like to show you that it's binding. But I'm sure everyone's made flapjacks at some point, very similar binding element to it. But these are, as I say, fantastic. I actually put these in the freezer, and they are somewhat edible straight from the freezer, but it doesn't take long. If you want it a bit softer, just get them out and you can leave it on the side for maybe 20 minutes or so, and yeah, it's good to eat. So if you ever get a sweet tooth, guys, this is a great thing to have available to you, to get you through that sweetness, but obviously you're having goodness in there, not just sweets. So if you wet your hands, like I say, it will help. So you can see here, it will help with the non-stickiness, and if you squeeze them together, okay, you can see how it's going to come out, and you have less stickiness to your hands. So what I've done here, I've put just some baking paper on a tray. Obviously we're not going to bake them, it's just so I can spread them out and make my balls, excuse the expression. But obviously with the macronutrients, I've done it per batch as well as a cost, and obviously you can make smaller or bigger balls depending on how you want to. But just note, as I say, the macros per ball will differ depending on how big you make them. So what I'll do, guys, I'll see how much I'm making, then I'll can let you know per ball what it costs and the nutrients involved in each ball. There's a lot of innuendos here, so didn't really plan that before I was pressed record, but there we go, all in the fun. So you can see hands, a little bit too much is sticking to my hands here, so what I'll do, I'll just put a little bit more water on there. I first came across this recipe, it's a very similar recipe on the Greg Plitt website. If you guys are members or want to be a member, okay, or his website is still up and running. He died in 2015, but his recipes are fantastic, and I've just modified mine to my liking, but it's based on the same kind of recipe as what's on there. I think he refers to it as, if memory serves me correct, regret-free cookie dough. And it does have kind of like a cookie dough texture to it, if I was to be honest, but obviously regret-free because there is so much goodness in here. You've got all the flavonoids coming from the dark chocolate, you've got vitamin C and other micronutrients in the goji berries, you've got obviously natural sugar in honey, and you've got the healthy fats in the almonds and walnuts, and you've got good complex carbs coming in your oats, as well as fiber and other macronutrients. So you give it a little mix. So far this will be my 10th ball, and just make sure you are squeezing it together, guys, and it will stick nice and good. If it's not sticking together, you can add a little bit more of that maple walnut Walden Farms. Doesn't add any macronutrients to it. Macronutrients, sorry, it doesn't add any calories, okay, or fat or sugars, and it may just obviously increase the cost associated with the dish. But like I say, I buy it in bulk. Dolphin Fitness is my preference of where I get it from. Great company, not affiliated in any way whatsoever, but very rarely, well, I think I've only ever had one problem with them with delivery, and that's because I ordered quite a broad range of bits from them, but there was part of it which was unavailable, so they split the delivery in half, and I got some of it one day and the rest of it, I think it was about 3 or 4 days later. Obviously not a problem, it's just availability, and they could have suspended it and waited till it was all together, but I was happy to get half of it one day and the rest of it another day, so therefore I okayed it. They kept me up to date very, very well, and never had a problem since. Shop at other places, and I do regularly have some availability and delivery problems, but Dolphin Fitness is, like I say, my preferred website to use. So coming towards the end of the batch, what I'm going to do here, just get some bits off my finger, wet my hands one last time, and that will help it all just stick together. And like I say guys, what I do is freeze it down. You don't have to freeze it, you can just put it in the fridge. They do last for quite a while, okay, but that's what I do. And like I say, you can eat them directly from the freezer, but if you prefer it a bit softer, you might just want to give yourself a good 20-minute, half an hour window before you eat them. Okay, so let me just clean my hands. God, what a day. Started out freezing cold. Took me about 15 minutes to de-ice the car this morning, but now it's absolutely gorgeous. Okay, so guys, that's it. Okay, so you can see here it's taken me less than 13 minutes once I've already grinded this the ingredients down. But I have 3, 6, 9, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 balls there. Okay, and yeah, I mean, they are fantastic. They taste absolutely amazing. I'm going to take a sneaky bite now. Wow. Oh my word. Amazing. Amazing. Wow. Well, minus one ball. So I will work that out for you. Okay. Per ball. According to my batch, I'm just going to come over here. I'm going to show you what I've got. Okay. Sorry, with a mouthful. So, the whole batch. And I'll break this down per ingredient. Okay. Exactly where I shop. And the macronutrients in full of each ingredient on my website. But whole dish, 3,121.3 calories, 77.5 grams of protein, 141.2 grams of carbs, fats, 232.6 grams, and the whole batch costs £6.10. So you can see it's not the cheapest of dishes to make, but when you break it down into obviously per ball, the macronutrients are fantastic. Everything in there is healthy, and the whole batch might be expensive for a whole dish, but I'm assuming you're not going to have more than a ball or two at a time. So it actually, when you break it down per ball, it is fairly cost effective. Okay, in my opinion anyway. Obviously everyone's got their own value, okay, from a personal perspective, so it's up to you whether you feel it is or not. But let me say, like, I don't get many sweet cravings, but when I do, this is a perfect piece of food to have on standby in case I get those. Okay, and like I say, I freeze it down, I put it in a tub, in a container, in the freezer, and have them when I fancy it. So guys, that's it. That's all today. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed it. Okay, and if you do make them, be great to hear what you think of them, and feel free to add or remove items. Sorry, not sure what happened there, the camera cut out. But sometimes I put flaxseed in there, chia seeds. Most of the time I don't, to be fair, but sometimes I do. And if I do, obviously I factor that into the macronutrients. And sometimes you can change nuts. Okay, you don't have to have walnuts and almonds as I did. Okay, so it does work better with this skin on nuts. So pecans are a good one, hazelnuts are another good one to add in as well. And obviously the macros will change, so will the cost if you do. But guys, feel free to play around with it. Okay, like I say, it's so tasty and extremely good for you. So I do hope you enjoy it, guys, if you make it. And thanks for joining in, and see you in the next one. Take care, guys. Bye.